Brenda from Mobile wants to know, while leaving work, I fell in the parking lot, had to have surgery, and while getting treated, I was fired. What are my options?
Well, you're talking about premises liability. Your options are plain and simple that you should seek the advice of an attorney, because we're talking about a somewhat sophisticated and or complicated area of law. There are many different nuances that would have to be researched, and it would take up the remainder of the show to go through everything that Brenda would be dealing with. But she should certainly seek her rights and seek the advice of an attorney trained in personal injury products liability, and premises liability.
Yeah, and
That's right.
Bill, I know you do a lot of premises liability, aka slip and fall cases. It sounds to me like in Brenda's scenario, I mean, if she's on work property and they fire her after she fell, could be a retaliatory action there.
Well, possibly. Typically, and what's important to know is when you are traveling to work or going home from work, typically it's not going to be a workers' comp case. But in this situation, if it happened on the property, if she fell, no matter whose fault it is, on the property of her employer, I believe there is a strong argument to be made that she has a viable workers' comp claim. Now, if they try to dismiss the workers' comp claim, then you would look to the personal or the premises liability claim. In other words, was there a defective condition that existed on that property? Just because you fall, like if you're in a grocery store or or someone else's house, and just because you fall, and even if you sustain horrible injuries, that doesn't mean anything. There has to be some type of defective condition that made you fall. You can't just trip over your own 2 feet at the super center and then claim to them that they owe you something. But if they have a defective condition, whether that is a wet floor that they didn't warn you about or a broken step, then you could have a claim. Now, in this situation with the caller, if it's something out in the parking lot, if there's broken concrete or something of that nature, then she may have a claim against the landlord or the owner of the premises. But it also sounds like she may have a workers' compensation claim, and like you mentioned, Andrea, if they fired her for making some type of a claim, she may have what's called a retaliatory discharge claim, which your boss cannot fire you for making a workers' comp claim. So I would, just like Carlos said, immediately get in touch with a lawyer and something like this. Don't let the time lapse on a claim like this.
Right, and don't let the company and the company's attorney tell you that you don't have a case. Get an independent verification of that on your own.